welcome to another Driven Catalyst live stream. Today is New Music Friday, and we are going to do more of a town hall style update. In all honesty, and in the interest of full transparency, I have been just so enamored with one album in particular for the past month or so, maybe even longer than that at this point. And it's totally taken over my streaming history, and I've already talked about it on stream the appropriate amount. So we're just I've hit my quota. 1 second, I think I need to make sure that I don't think I have sound right now. Hello. Okay, hello and welcome to another Driven Catalyst live stream. I'm not totally sure if we had audio for that first few seconds, but basically, catching you up if not, this is going to be a different sort of New Music Friday live stream. I'm going to just talk about new releases, favorite new releases, what I'm looking forward to listening to. I've got quite a few singles that came out today or recently that I'm going to list off and discuss briefly. But in the interest of full disclosure, I have basically been totally enamored with basically an artist and an album in particular for the past month or two now. And it's totally taken over my streaming history and kind of also limited my ability to explore new music the way I should be. I feel like everything is kind of extending from the anchor of that genre tone, mind for lyricism. Like, I feel like everything has been in that wheelhouse, and so I feel like I'm not coming up with as vibrant thoughts or have been as exploratory with new releases recently. So that's definitely been a limitation. Let's follow up with last week first and foremost, though, because I have been continuing to listen to Wishbone from Conan Gray, and this may not be a new thought because I'm pretty sure Romeo was one of my favorites last week as well, but after listening to it more, Romeo and Caramel have been way more in circulation than I would have maybe initially expected. I feel like when the album first came out, I was very quick to recommend the singles to everyone, like even just in my personal life as I was talking through the album with people. Those were my favorites. And then I feel like when it first came out, Actor really stole my heart. I really like it lyrically. I think it's such a strong song, but it hasn't been as frequent in circulation for me listening wise. So that's my update on the Conan Gray album. I'm still trying to figure out which. I feel like there's not a good Texas, either there's no Texas dates or there's not a Texas date for me that works. And so I'm still trying to figure out like where to maybe travel to go see him. Cause I'm pretty into this album enough to want to see it live. So that's my update on Conan Gray. I'll do general housekeeping, what I've been listening to updates before getting into what came out today / recently. Like new releases that were on my release radar that I gave a listen. Audrey Hobart. Audrey Hobart's new album came out last week in tandem with Wishbone from Conan Gray, and I kind of couldn't believe it when I realized, because I had been looking forward to both albums so much. Like, I kind of couldn't believe I accidentally let one of them slip between the cracks. That being said, I haven't listened all the way through to Audrey's new album yet, which as a Gracie Abrams stan, like, it's crazy that that's true, and it makes me sad to admit. But I do have some notes just from my initial listen. Let me look at the track list really quick, and I'll let you all know how far I made it. Audrey Hobart's Who's the Clown debut album. I have made it to track 9 of 12. So I have made it pretty far. Sue Me was a viral sensation on TikTok basically as soon as it released. That was the first or lead single from the album, if I'm not mistaken. Was there one that came out before? No, Sue Me, I think, was the lead single. If you've been on TikTok within the past few months, you've heard it. One note from listening to the album so far, that it's a note I have that I feel like I'm going to express a preference, which I hate to do because I think after listening to the album and as someone who just likes music and art and consuming something and thinking about authorial intent and like I appreciate things for what they are and what they're meant to be, apart from my taste. I'm not obsessed with track 1 from this album. I think that was like something that hung me up on it initially, but I just think like Audrey Hobart is so funny and cool, and I feel like she's captured her audience and we are all kind of buying in the same way so quickly. I don't know. I think I can speak for myself. I'm very enamored with who she just is and everything she is. I think she is like, if we're whittling it down to a hashtag or like a turn of phrase that would be in circulation on TikTok or whatever, there was like the cool girl, the hot girl era, right? Like that was the thing. It feels so yucky to speak this way, but I feel like Audrey Hobart is resonating with people that kind of had a weird time with that terminology. I think she's just like so her own vibe and like romanticizing the unromanticizable aspects. Like, I don't know, Wet Hair, Bowling Alley, Thirst Trap. I think so much of her music is so relatable in that way. And I think it's like resonating so widely with people that it's just so hard not, like, how could you not love her is kind of how I feel. And I feel like she is lovable in a way that we haven't all gotten to bandwagon with someone like in the pop music space yet. I don't know. I think she's just so cool. Like she's early 2010s Jennifer Lawrence in a way. She's the little girl standing in front of the burning building meme in a way. I'm so thrilled to have Audrey Hobart on the scene. So all of that in mind, track 1 totally makes sense. It's perfect. It was a hard one for me. Okay. Keeping it moving, because I just said a lot. Thirst Trap is a game changer on the album, in my opinion. I just feel like there was just a total tone shift. I feel like percussively things picked up in a different way. Everything stopped. I don't know. I'm so hesitant to say things sometimes because I know nothing. But I did feel like, at least for my listening experience, a lot of the songs were bleeding together, especially a lot of the songs that weren't debut singles or lead singles that I had already heard prior to listening to the album. Everything was bleeding together and they all had kind of a similar dance pop vibe, which is great. Like, it made for easy listening, but I feel like Thirst Trap became a standout for me because of that. I actually was aghast at timestamp 2:47. There's a saxophone break, and I literally wrote in all caps, "Whoa, Audrey baby, I am so here." So that, yeah, I don't know. That actually is quite concisely exactly how I feel just about Audrey being on the scene in pop music as a whole. Like, Audrey baby, I'm so here. Like, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I've seen performance videos of her that I'm just eating up. Like, I'm eating out of the palm of her hand. There's just like, I haven't made it all the way through the album yet. So I was very easily brainwashed, I guess. But rightfully so, I think. I think she's just got she's got charisma. She's just cool. She's cool and so different in her own. I feel like I'm being annoying and weird how I'm talking about it. I'm not finding the right words to express what I mean. And I'm trying not to say it in like a, like when you're shopping and you're shopping with friends and someone holds up like an ugly sweater and they're like, this is so you. I feel like I'm saying it in a this is so you way, and that is absolutely not what I mean. But I'm so aware that all the words I'm stringing together and the way I'm saying things is coming off that way. And I don't know how to make it not happen, and I'm live. So I hope you will understand that that's not how I mean it and that you will take my word for it, because that's just so not how I mean it. Okay. Keeping it moving, Chateau, track 7. The drums in Chateau, I love. How'd I even get in and I'd love to get out? It was just such a fun part of the song, I thought. And I feel like the vibe of this one is very early 2010s rockish. I don't know. These live streams, New Music Friday in particular, could be a drinking game where you take a sip of water every time we say, I don't know, or you know what I mean. And I am aware of that, and I do apologize. But okay, those are all my thoughts on the Audrey Hobart album. Once again, just like big apologies. I cannot believe it slipped my mind that I haven't given it a more thorough listen, that I don't have better thoughts to share about it yet. Because I was just as excited about Audrey Hobart's Who's the Clown as I was for Conan Gray's Wishbone. And the fact that I feel like I chose a favorite child in this instance, it's going to haunt me. Especially as a die-hard Gracie Abrams fan. When I found out Audrey Hobart was going to release an album, I was foaming at the mouth. So excited. So, yeah, especially Phoebe, track 11. Just there being a track called Phoebe is very intriguing and exciting for me. So the fact that I haven't even made it that far yet, crazy. Okay, so now we're moving on to the singles that were on my release radar today that I've listened to and I liked a lot. Right off the bat, the first several are all-time favorite artists of mine, so kind of I'm biased, but also I think these are really strong singles, so I'm not that biased. First track being 100 Summers from Rainbow Kitten Surprise. I'm so excited about the upcoming album from them, Bones. And 100 Summers is, at this point, the first single from it, I believe. And I'm here. I'm ready. I'm going to put this one on the calendar so I don't forget it. The way I just totally let Audrey Hobart slip through my fingers. But I am so here. Rainbow Kitten Surprise was my first ever concert that I drove myself to when I was in high school. So I'm thrilled to be getting fed more. That being said, they have a new album out pretty recently too. Love Hate Music Box came out, oh wow, May 2024. So I guess over a year ago. It felt pretty recent though. Time flies. But yeah, excited to be fed again. And 100 Summers is a really great lead single for a new album. And I'm really excited. Okay, Maddie Diaz. I'm a recent Maddie Diaz fan, but I'm absolutely loving. How many times am I going to say this live stream? I'm so on board with everything Maddie Diaz is doing too. New single Ambivalence from upcoming album Fatal Optimist. It's actually criminal that I don't have that committed to memory yet because the album art is quite literally her wearing a t-shirt that says Fatal Optimist. I wasn't as excited about, or not as excited. I haven't been listening to the first lead single from Fatal Optimist as much. Feel Something was the lead single, the first one to come out. And I listened to it and I liked it, but I haven't been listening to it. I do think I'm going to be listening to Ambivalence. That one really resonated with me and I really love it. So that is a release from today. Okay, Flock of Dimes, one of my all-time favorite artists, and I know, what is my word worth? I feel like I keep saying that, but it is because I log on and talk about music on Fridays so I can talk about my favorite artists. So that's why it may seem everyone's my favorite artist. Flock of Dimes, Head of Roses 2021 album is maybe top 3 albums of all time for me. So as soon as it was announced that, what is the new album called? Upcoming album, The Life You Save, was announced, I couldn't have been more excited. First single is Long After Midnight. Yes. And then today they released Afraid. Listen to it. It's absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely everything I would expect from a Flock of Dimes single. And I've only given it one quick listen, so I don't have a lot of enlightened thoughts about it, but it's beautiful. Flock of Dimes has some of the most interesting and we'll stop it at interesting so I don't pull for a more contrived adjective. Just some of the most interesting, harmonious, ambient music to listen to. The harmonies in the music are always phenomenal. The vocals usually I'm not obsessed with live albums. I feel like I have since gotten more into them. But Head of Roses has a live album counterpart, Phantom Limb, and it is the most astoundingly great live album. I feel like it's gotten me into and given me a great regard for how much life you can hear in a live album. It's not just crowd noise and sort of fuzzy guitar. It is like a whole different heart and soul for the music. And I feel like my first epiphany about that with live albums was Phantom Limb from Flock of Dimes. So, okay, keeping it moving. Ken Pomeroy, I talked about earlier this year, has a new single out, Bound to Rain. It is beautiful. Everything Ken Pomeroy supplied previously in vocals with the album earlier this year, she is supplying again tenfold. Some really cool album art. It looks screen printed or lino cut printed. I don't have it in front of me, but really beautiful album art, really beautiful song. I listened to that today and really liked it. This one is not as new, but I have been listening to it quite a bit, and it is a newer release, Los Angeles from Big Thief. That is from Double Infinity, which is, hey, wait a minute, which releases on September 5th. I did not realize Los Angeles was as recent a release as it is. I thought I hadn't done my homework. I internalized that I was behind. But it came out early August. All right, well, pretty much as soon as it came out, I started listening to it and loving it. Totally slipped my mind that Big Thief has a new album coming up. Stay tuned. I will probably be talking about Double Infinity. But yeah, Los Angeles became a quick favorite of mine. DFW native Joshua Ray Walker put out a single called Stuff. And if you like country or have just any sort of space in your world and your heart for really, really good covers, twangier covers, I'll give you that. Like, I do think you need to kind of like country, but Joshua Ray Walker is so talented, really beautiful music. Cheap Thrills cover of Linger by the Cranberries, I have saved and have been listening to religiously. But yeah, new single Stuff came out. Did it come out today? Yes, it did. Came out today. So I gave that a listen and really liked it. And I'm seeing there's a release countdown. I follow Joshua Ray Walker on Instagram, but every so often I don't see things as timely as I'd like to. Joshua Ray Walker has an album coming out October 10th, which is in 48 days, 7 hours, 17 minutes, and 5 seconds, if you were wondering. And so I'll be looking forward to listening to that as well. If stuff is any sort of indicator as to what's to come, which of course it is because it's a single. Okay. Albums now that I haven't listened to, but I'm looking forward to: Somber and Royal Otis, which are both very similarly vibed, I would say. Put out new albums today. And those are two albums that I plan on listening to and I'm excited to listen to. I don't know that I've done any of my homework from previous weeks, though. Let me see. Go to the notes app. Because Field Medic, yeah. I haven't listened to the rest of the Field Medic album that I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I am still interested in and excited about. I try not to overload myself too much, though. So when I do give things a listen, I am like open to them still and ready to take them in. So I try not to overload myself. But I am still very much interested in locking in and listening to the new Field Medic album. And now Royal Otis and Somber are added to that list. If you are unfamiliar, Somber sings a couple songs that I have really picked up on TikTok recently. Back to Friends and Undressed are the two lead most streams on Spotify. And I would say those are the two that I think I've listened to or heard of most on TikTok. New album, I Barely Know Her, released today. And one minute, please. Royal Otis, I have been listening to quite a bit recently. They blew up for their cover, their Sirius XM session of Linger from the Cranberries. I like it more. That's hard. I listen to it more. I don't know if they're at the same level, I would say, of likability. I like them both a lot. But I would say I do listen to the Sirius XM session of Linger from Royal Otis than I do to the Cranberries version. But I do like the Cranberries. Oysters in My Pocket. Moody. Moody is the most recent release from them that I really have had in circulation. Heading for the Door is also a Sirius XM session, and I am addicted to that track. Cannot recommend it enough. They have a Triple J cover of Murder on the Dance Floor too from... I actually couldn't tell you what Murder on the Dance Floor is from, but I think it was in Saltburn, so that is what put it into the... pop cultural circulation in my brain, at least. But yes, they have a new album out today as well, and that is high on my list for what I will be listening to. Are we all worn out? That was a bit much. I did a lot of talking. But Friday is my favorite holiday, not only because of New Music Friday, but because it's Friday. Slams laptop shut till Monday. You know the memes. My Instagram is flooded with those every single Friday. I almost can't even go on Instagram Reels on Friday because of it. But I hope you have a great rest of your day, a great weekend, and I will see y'all next week. Thank you for tuning in. This is Driven Catalyst Live, and I am signing off.